Veuillez accueillir Frank Baylis. Please welcome Frank Baylis.
Monsieur Baylis, est-ce que vous avez l'impression que les militants libéraux ont eu le droit de vous écouter? Oui. Good job, Frank! Good job, Frank!
Merci. Merci.
Thank you. I'd like to start by thanking all those who have supported me throughout this race.
My friends, my incredible team, and all my supporters, I am deeply, deeply grateful. Thank you. Now, we are living in challenging times. Our economic security and our very sovereignty is under threat. But the man who challenges us does not know our history, and he does not understand our values. We are builders who stitched this country together with a railroad. We are fighters who have stood up against tyranny all around the world. Yet at the same time, we're also peacekeepers who have come to the aid of others in their time of need. Nous sommes une nation distincte.
We're a distinct nation with French throughout the country, focused on Quebec. And above all,
people who put in place a social safety net and a healthcare system to look after all of our citizens. So this is who we are. We are builders. We are fighters. We are peacekeepers. Nous sommes une nation dotée.
We're a nation with a rich cultural identity.
Compassionate people. So, we will not be intimidated by a tweet. And we will not be broken by a tariff. Nous sommes les Canadiens.
We are Canadians, and together we will build our nation.
The true North, strong and free, and we will always be. Tonight, as we choose our next leader, regardless who that is, let us go forward together into our future with confidence and optimism. Merci. Merci tout le monde. Merci, merci.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Amis libéraux, faites du bruit pour Chrystia Freeland. Liberals, make some noise for Chrystia Freeland.
Good evening. Bonsoir. I want to start by thanking the amazing people who have volunteered on my campaign and donated to my campaign. Merci beaucoup. Je vous apprécie.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for all your help.
Et je sais.
And I know that we all want to thank the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau this evening as well.
There is a remarkable wave of patriotism across our country. Canadians are ready to stand for Canada. Canadians are ready to fight for Canada. And I know all of us have one message for Donald Trump tonight. Canada will never be the 51st state. Oui, c'est ça. Partout au pays.
Across the country, Canadians are ready to fight for Canada. We're ready to defend Canada. And Canada will never become the 51st U.S. state.
Just in December, people were writing off our Liberal Party. But tonight, we all know that we can we must, and we will defeat Pierre Poilievre and his maple syrup mega. Oui, on va gagner.
We are going to win.
The Liberal Party is the party that has always fought for Canada, and together we will win. Vive le Canada!
Long live Canada.
Merci.
Let's get loud for Karina Gould. Faisons du bruit pour Karina Gould.
Good evening, everyone.
Aujourd'hui,
Today is a wonderful day for the Liberal Party of Canada.
great day for the Liberal Party of Canada. I want to start by saying thank you to each and every one of you. You participated, you joined the party, you voted, you volunteered, you made donations, and the Liberal Party of Canada is strong because of each and every one of you. C'est quoi le Parti libéral?
What's the Liberal Party? Well, it's the members, it's the supporters across the country. It's a strong party. Our party is always there to defend Canada and to defend Canadians as well.
Our party is made of incredible Canadians who care so deeply about this country, and it is always the Liberal Party of Canada that stands up for Canada and stands up for Canadians. And this leadership campaign has shown that there are so many Canadians willing to stand strong for Canada. Et moi, je suis plein.
And I'm very inspired because of you, the members of our party. You're here to stand up for Canada.
as Liberals. I am proud to be a Liberal in Canada. Je suis fière d'être libérale.
I'm proud to be a Liberal here in Canada.
And let's remember, we are the party of healthcare. We are the party of the Charter. We are the party of the Maple Leaf. We are the party of multiculturalism. We are the party of reconciliation. We are the party that fights climate change. And we are the party of national childcare. Et c'est grâce à vous.
And it's thanks to you, thanks to the members and Liberal supporters that always have the best ideas for Canada.
This country who dream big for Canada so that Liberal governments can deliver for Canadians. So tonight, whatever the result, we leave here proud Liberals, proud Canadians, and united so that we can take the fight to Pierre Poilievre, win the next election, and stand up for Canada! Merci tout le monde!
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Amis libéraux, veuillez accueillir notre dernier candidat, Mark Carney. Liberals, please welcome our final candidate, Mark Carney.
Alors.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Je veux vous poser quelques...
I'd like to ask a couple of questions. Who's ready? Who's ready to stand up for Canada?
Qui est prêt?
Who's ready to help the Liberal Party win the most important election of our lives? We have to do this. Christa's ready. Frank's ready. Karina's ready. Everyone in this room's ready to do that.
C'est ça. We have to win this election. The big election. And we will stand shoulder to shoulder together to do it. Because the stakes have never been higher. You have just heard from my colleagues what we stand for as the Liberal Party. The Charter, healthcare, childcare, opportunity. We have made this the greatest country in the world. And now our neighbors want to take us. No way. No way. Impossible. This party has more than quadrupled its membership in the past 2 months. More than 300,000 members. Old Liberals, and my definition of old has changed, but old Liberals coming back, members who've never been part of a party before, united with one purpose, which is to make Canada even greater pour tous les Canadiens et Canadiennes.
Greater for all Canadians.
Dernier mot. Whatever the result tonight, I'll be proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with my collègue candidat, working with you, with Liberal volunteers across this country in service of Canadians. Merci tout le monde. À bientôt. Vive le Canada.
Thank you and long live Canada.
Amis libéraux, faites du bruit pour nos 4 candidats à la chefferie. Veuillez accueillir Claudette Commanda, qui prononcera la déclaration de reconnaissance territoriale. Liberals, make some noise for our 4 leadership candidates. Please welcome Claudette Commanda to deliver the land acknowledgement.
Kwe kakina. Kwe kakina. Bonjour tout le monde.
Hello, everyone.
Canada. Hello, Liberal Party of Canada. Are we excited? Are we happy? And we should be. Kani Mitch Kijigun Kinun de Nishinakos Kitagan Zibi Donjaban. Kwait Kakina Nichkiwe Dug. Mono Sir Claudette.
I'm Claudette Commanda. I'm an Algonquin woman from the Kipikan Zibi First Nation. And I'm ready to be here with you and very happy to be here this evening.
My English name is Claudette Commanda, and I am from the Kitagan Zibi Algonquin First Nation, and I'm very honored to be here with each and every one of you. I know there are many that I can't see, and you cannot see me, but that's okay. What's important is that you hear me, we hear one another, and we're here together as brothers and sisters in this beautiful land called Canada. Greetings, distinguished guests, leaders, community members, citizens of Canada, and to the candidates. Welcome to this beautiful traditional homeland of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. Welcome. Welcome. Bijajig Oma. Bienvenue ici. The land of the Anishinaabe ancestors since time immemorial, the land of our people today and tomorrow. I respect and honor the first and original ancestors of this land, the Anishinaabe ancestors, whom I come from and whom I'm very proud of. And as I acknowledge my ancestors, I acknowledge the ancestors of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. And ladies and gentlemen, no matter where we come from, no matter our political stripes, no matter our title, each and every one of you, I honor and acknowledge your ancestors, because we are all together, all together. But for our ancestors, we would not be here. And as we embark on a new journey starting today, with principles of yesterday, with love and kindness and respect for one another, and learning from the wisdom of past leaders, elders, and community members, this journey will be one that will be filled with love and respect and kindness. And my blessing for you indeed is one of love. May the Creator bless you Miigwej gijimina do kichimigwej kinakego. Kichimigwej onje nichkiwe do gikwe waga shishininini wag. And may the Creator bless you with a good heart, good health, strength, and guidance. Let us show kindness and respect for one another as peers, as colleagues, and leaders. Let us embrace the spirit and intent of community, because that's who you need to be, and that's who we are, community. Community. Let us embrace the spirit of love for one another and to one another. And that love is so much needed today, because we see what's going on out there. And let no one break love. People want to be negative, let them be negative. It belongs to them. For love belongs to us, is what's important. And I leave you with these closing words. Love is the strength of the land. Love is the courage of the heart. Love is the guidance of visions. And love is the future for all our children. All our children. All our children. Best of luck to all the candidates. Just know, no matter what, we will walk together, we will work together, and this country will remain the country that it is for all our children today and tomorrow. And my friends, a young Guamazin, Nigawabmin, Gizagiyin, I love you all. Take good care. Best of luck.
Thank you, Claudette. Merci, Claudette. Liberals, please welcome Miss McLeod, and please rise for the singing of O Canada. Amis libéraux, veuillez accueillir Miss McLeod et vous lever pour entonner O Canada.
I encourage you all to sing along with me. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
We'll begin with the much anticipated launch of Justin Trudeau's bid to lead the federal Liberal Party.
Let us rededicate ourselves to the glorious, improbable work in progress that is Canada, and to serve its people through the only party willing to speak to and for all Canadians, the Liberal Party of Canada.
Nous avons battu la peur avec l'espoir.
We've beaten fear with hope. We've beaten cynicism with hard work.
Negative, divisive politics with a positive vision that brings Canadians together.
On a fait tout ce qu'on peut pour améliorer.
We've done everything we could to improve people's lives, and this is what we'll continue to do over the next few years. You're sending us to Ottawa with a clear mandate. Continue to move our country forward. I heard you. You don't want to talk about politics and elections anymore. You want us to focus on the work that we have to do for you.
My friends, tonight I think of something Prime Minister Wilfrid Laurier said as his generation was at the dawn of a new century. He said, "Let them look to the past, but let them still more look to the future. Let us feel the warmth of a new dawn. Above all, let us seize the promise of a brand new day." Merci, mes amis. Thank you, my friends.
Liberals, please welcome Ella Grace Trudeau. Amis libéraux, veuillez accueillir Ella Grace Trudeau.
Hi, everyone. I've come here to talk to you about your Prime Minister, your leader, but to me, it's just Dad. Je crois qu'on sait tous que
I think we all know that being a Prime Minister is not the easiest job in the world. Long days of work, stress, media attention.
Not that easy to be the kid of a Prime Minister either. I've been trying hard to live the life of a normal teenager, but I think you can imagine it's not that simple of a task. La sécurité, les règles.
Security, rules, drama have all stopped me feeling free over the past few years. The number of times who spoke to me about him as if he wasn't my father. So that led me to doubt the integrity of some people.
Conversations with my dad about the difficult situations I've lived through, and he never failed to make me feel better. He listened, and more than that, I knew he heard me. He understood me, because he lived through all that. The only difference is that back then there was no social media. Imagine constantly seeing your dad or even news about him as you scroll through your feed. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to seeing more of him at home and less of him online. But I would never trade the last few years for anything. Dad, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud to have seen you fight for our country, for what you believe in, for what we, in this room, believe in. Fier de t'avoir vu.
Proud to have seen you fight for those in need.
I'm extremely grateful to have lived these experiences and grateful to those around me who have made it even just a little bit easier. Je suis tellement chanceuse d'avoir pu vivre.
I'm so lucky to have been able to experience so much, to meet so many extraordinary people, to see so many beautiful things and places.
Memories I've made, it be at Harrington Lake, on official trips, or even just at home. And I'm really looking forward to making some new memories of a different kind. My brothers and I have shared our dad with you for the past 12 years. Now we're taking him back. But before we do, I guess you can have him one last time. Please welcome your Prime Minister, my dad, Justin Trudeau.
Bonsoir, mes amis. Bonsoir, tout le monde. Hello, my friends. You know, as I look out across this room, I have just one question. How's the Liberal Party doing tonight? Ella
Grace, I know that these last few years haven't been easy for Sav. Hey, Adrienne, yourself. Thank you for having been so patient with me, even when I was stressed, when I was traveling too much, when I couldn't think about anything other than work. But please know that in the most difficult times, you inspired me. You gave me courage. You reminded me that I should focus on what was really important and not what was just urgent. Being Prime Minister of this country has been the honor of my life, but I'm so looking forward to redevoting myself to my most important role, that of father. I'm proud of the three of you, and I love you above all.
Now, sit down. Now, I can imagine that you're all expecting me to stand up and talk about all that we've accomplished together. And don't get me wrong, I am damn proud of what we've done over these past 10 years for the middle class and people working hard to join it. But tonight is about our future as a party, as a country. Now, I know that we as Liberals, as a government, often get criticized by our friends for not taking a victory lap after we get something big done. We do something really big, and then we move on right away to the next challenge. Because as progressives, as Liberals, we know there is always more to do. So it is important to take the time to reflect on and share the big successes. But not tonight. Not tonight, because when Liberals gather, we're always focused on just one thing: the work that still needs to be done to build a country that stays worthy of all Canadians. And simply put, that's the work of a lifetime for each and every one of us. It's very simple. Liberals are dedicated to making this country even better, not because we think it's broken, but because we have an opportunity and therefore a responsibility to ensure that Canada stays the best country on earth. Now, these past 10 years have been challenging. Crisis after crisis has been thrown at Canadians. But through every crisis, Canadians have shown who they are. We've pulled together. We've stood up for each other, and every single time, we've emerged even stronger. And now, as Canadians face from our neighbor an existential challenge, an economic crisis, Canadians are showing exactly what we are made of. Canadians are showing what it is that makes us Canadians, not by defining ourselves by who we're not, but by proudly embracing who we are. We're a country that knows that standing up for everyone's fundamental rights is the only way to protect our freedom. We're a country that believes no one should be left behind and that everyone should have a real and fair shot at success. We're a country that refuses to accept the false choice between a strong economy and a healthy environment. We're a country that embraces reconciliation and Indigenous peoples as true partners because it is the only path to a shared, prosperous future.
We are a country that promotes its culture and protects its heritage. We're a country that breathes life into the French language and is heard across the world. We're a country that celebrates its diversity and draws strength from its differences.
We're a country that celebrates the right of each and every person to be who they want to be, to pray as they pray, and love whom they love. We're a country that will always defend a woman's right to choose. And we're a country that will be diplomatic when we can, but fight when we must, elbows up. But you here in this room, and our fellow Liberals watching across the country, you know all about fighting with grit, with determination, when the going gets tough. You remember where we were 15 years ago with just 35 seats in the House. You remember our ups and downs and all those times that people counted us out, all the times they said our party was on its last breath. Like all Canadians, it's when you try to count us out that we Liberals show our true mettle.
You showed this in 2015, 2019, and again in 2021. You mobilized. You knocked on doors. You did it in the rain, in a heat wave, in the freezing cold. You did it in the middle of a pandemic, wearing a mask. You fought for your country, and you changed it for the better. You know, a party is more than just a name, a logo, a leader. It's all about you. You who carry the hopes of Canadians day in, day out. A country is more than a flag and a territory. It's a vision which is built gradually, day after day, between friends and neighbours. And I'd like to thank all those who have been there to build this vision together. I'm thinking here about my first volunteers 18 years ago, those who have been there since the start. Rennes, Louis-Alexandre, Stavroula, and others, so many others. I'm thinking about the grocery store parking lot in Papineau, when we talk to people to rally them to our cause, to our movement.
Also thinking of two friends in particular who've been there with me and for me every step of the way for close to 20 years. The extraordinary Adam Scotty and the unstoppable Katie Telford. Now, as I look at all of you in this room, no speech could be enough to thank you all as much as I'd like to, as much as you should be. I can't even offer you a well-deserved break because, once again, we need you. Your country needs you maybe more than ever. And I have no doubt that you will answer the call because you've done it before. Liberals will meet this moment. And make no mistake, this is a nation-defining moment. Democracy is not a given. Freedom is not a given. Even Canada is not a given. None of those happen by accident. None of them will continue without effort. It takes courage. It takes sacrifice. It takes hope and hard work. "60 years ago, standing atop Parliament Hill, Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson first raised our beautiful maple leaf into the Canadian sky. It was much debated at the time, but Pearson knew well what we all know now, that our flag would serve as a unifying symbol that would define the next chapters in our national story. 60 years later, there are still so many more chapters to write. And I can tell you, the world is looking to see what Canadians will do. So let us not dwell on all the great things we've achieved over the past 10 years. Let us aspire instead to achieve even more over the next 10 years and the decades to come. Let us remain steadfast, defiant, and united. And let us not just think about our party, let us prove our love of country. As your leader, as your Prime Minister, I have done my level best each and every single day to help build a country that stays worthy of all Canadians. I've done it for Xavier, for Ella Grace and Hadrian. And I've done it for your kids too. And I've done it with you. And although you'll always find me alongside you, cheering along, their future and your future is now in your hands. Merci, mes amis. Merci pour tout.
Parti libéraux, veuillez accueillir le 20e Premier ministre du Canada, Jean Chrétien. Liberals, please welcome the 20th Prime Minister of Canada, Jean Chrétien.
Monsieur le Premier Ministre Trudeau.
Prime Minister Trudeau, candidates, the President of the party, ministers and MPs, good evening. This is an exceptional opportunity for me to be here this evening. This is my ninth Liberal convention that I participated in. And it's the 7th time that I've spoken at the podium. I would have never thought that I could do it at 91. I'm still ready to fight. I have fight in me yet.
So many young people in the room today. It reminds me of my first Liberal convention when I was the president of the Young Liberals at Laval University. In 1958, when Lester Pearson was elected Liberal leader. In 1958, not many of you were born. And he then became a very good Prime Minister. I have kept coming to Liberal Convention for 68 years. I have kept coming back to Liberal Convention because of what the Liberal Party stands for. I have kept coming back because of what the Liberal Party has delivered to make the lives of Canadians better. And I am here today because it is the Liberal Party that can best deliver the better lives for Canadians in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. It is the Liberal Party that has given Canadians the Canadian Pension Plan and Medicare, the Charter of Rights and Freedom, the 2 official languages that put the Indigenous rights into the Canadian Constitution, brought in tough gun control laws, affirmative action. We have always supported women's right to choose. We are the party who led the way to permit, the second party in the country in the world to permit same-sex marriage. The party is the party of diversity, equality, tolerance, openness, and inclusiveness. We Liberals call it the very essence of Canada. And it is the Liberal Party that gave us the red maple leaf flag 60 years ago, which flew so proudly in homes across the country on the 14th of February to demonstrate our patriotism and love for Canada. I want to say a special thank you to former Prime Ministers Joe Clark Harper, Martin, Campbell, for coming together with me to rally Canadians across the land to show the Canadian flag with pride, with a lot of pride. But tonight, I want to pay tribute to Justin Trudeau. I want to pay tribute to him for taking the Liberal Party from third place to government and three successive election victories. I want to pay tribute to what he and his team have accomplished. Canadian Child Benefit, to reduce the poverty for the children in Canada. The $10 child care that opened the labor market to so many women. For the dental plan for low-income Canadians. For all the work they've done on the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, these are liberal policies. And let's talk about the economic reality of the moment now. Because Canada has done well. This, I'm telling you, as I've said so many times, Canada is not broken. Despite the attacks by the critics, Canada has the lowest deficit per capita in the G7. More than 5 times lower than in the United States. For the lowest debt per capita in the G7. And in fact, the payment on the interest of the debt today is only 11% for each dollar of tax we pay, and compared to what we got when we formed the government in 1993, we were obliged to pay 35 cents in every tax dollar. That was a little problem the Tories left to me. And we balanced the books. We took that mess from the Tories and we balanced the books. And we had 10 years of surplus. And the Tories came back to power and we went back in debt. Now inflation is 1.9% in Canada. It's 3.2% and increasing south of the border. You know, I spend my life talking about job creation. Now the problem, we're looking for manpower. It's a difficult problem, but it's better than the reverse. You know, I want to pay tribute to the government, to Mr. Trudeau, and to all the provincial governments for the fact that they have been with the municipalities to put together the best program on the pandemic that we face, better than any other country in the world. Our debt rate was less than half of the United States. Today, as a party, we're choosing a new leader. A leader who will assume the mantle of Laurier and King, Saint Laurent and Pearson, Trudeau's father, Trudeau, the son, who has with him a very beautiful daughter. You know, I'm old enough to say that. and myself. And that is very important. I want to take this moment to say how impressed I am by the quality of the candidates whose names are on the ballot tonight. It makes me very, very proud to be a Liberal. Et maintenant, parlons.
And now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The long and fruitful friendship with the Americans, built over decades, which is falling apart before our eyes and is becoming something which is difficult to name. Mutual respect, trust, reciprocal cooperation, friendship, which have long characterized our relationship, are now giving way to wariness and more open hostility from the Trump administration towards our country. This is something we've never seen, but this is something that Canadians don't understand, and I think the majority of Americans don't understand it either, without mentioning the rest of the planet. Why? Well, why? Historians, journalists, university researchers and experts in international politics are trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. Well, in Canada, our elbows are up. We're working together to unite, to deal with this threat, the threat to our economy and our sovereignty. In other words, our very existence as a country. At the beginning of the week, tariffs became a reality, and there will only be losers if you measure it in financial terms alone. But for Canadians, it's more than that. It's more than money that's at stake here. We love our country and our independence. We love who we are because we're unique in the world.
To the Trudeau government and all the Premier for the way they have led Canada in the last few weeks in confronting the menace imposed on us. With tariffs completely unjustified. Governments have absolutely right in retaliating as they have, and I congratulate all of them. If it is necessary, the governments altogether can consider going further, anything the Americans where it really hurts, by imposing an export tax on oil, gas, potash, steel, aluminum, and electricity. And we'll use that money to build infrastructure that are needed in Canada. For example, to build a pipeline for natural gas from Alberta to Quebec. Alberta, the family of my mother, and Quebec, of my father. So, you know, I think that if we do that, that will keep the steel workers working in Canada for a long time. And I could go on, but I'm limited in time. So, the world has lived for 80 years with a rule-based order that has brought us peace and prosperity. It has enabled the United States to be the strongest, the most powerful country in the world. It has allowed all of us to sleep well every night. And now, Donald Trump has decided to throw it all out the window. We are going to be living very difficult time, but I'm very confident that the next Prime Minister will work with the premiers, the leaders of all the political parties in the House of Commons, and allies around the world to stand together to meet the challenges that Mr. Trump is creating for the whole world. And perhaps, speaking of the President, it is time for a little history lesson for him. Probably does not realize that in 1776, Benjamin Franklin spent a year in Montreal trying to convince the people to join the American Revolution. And he was told by the Francophone, non merci. And they were right. Look what happened to the French language in Louisiana. The Loyalists left the USA to come back to Upper Canada and the Atlantic. And the Francophone and Lower Canada, together they built our independent country. During the War of 1812, American troops came to what is now Canada on a mission of conquest. They were defeated by Colonel de Salaberry in what is now Quebec, and by leaders like the great indigenous chief Tecumseh in what is now Ontario. And I don't know, apparently some burned the White House at that time. But I'm too old to do it. No, it's a joke. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have been friend and good neighbor with our southern neighbors. But we must stand up for ourselves. Historically, despite our friendship, we have had problems, but we always found a way to solve them. We have worked with and collaborated with the United States in the past, and I'm telling you, we will do so in the future. We are good neighbors and friends. We are good neighbors and friends, but we are proud and independent country. But sometimes one must stand up for Canada. We must always be vigilant. And I did so as minister and as Prime Minister. Way back in 1968, when the Americans sent a ship, the Manhattan, with no Canadian flag through our Northern Passage, they wanted to prove that the passage was international water. As Minister of Northern Affairs, I flew to Pond Inlet at the northern extremity of Baffinland to confront them. I was on the Louis Saint-Laurent icebreaker. I called the captain. I said I will be there in an hour. And it's better to have the Canadian flag at the mast. I When I arrived, there was a Canadian flag at the mast. And I had a big smile. You know, we had other problems of the same nature. You remember Newfoundland, the so-called fish war, when we arrested Este, when my friend Tobin made a great show at the UN with the illegal nets, and we were successful. They changed the international laws after that because there was a problem that needed to be fixed. And I'm quite proud of it, and it was quite a time. Yeah. I was traveling in the West. I came back. It was Holy Week. So it was a Thursday, Holy Week. So my wife said, we'll have a good rest for the weekend. And I said, perhaps not, because I'm declaring war to Spain. She did not sleep. But, you know, we had another problem on the West Coast. You know, we have Vancouver Island, the mainland, and Canadian waters. And the fishermen from Oregon and Washington State were going to Alaska, but they were not respecting our water. So we threatened them to block the passage on Canadian water and force them to go in the high seas. It was a very difficult problem. The senator of Alaska said it was almost a question of war. So I discussed that, and I talked with my friend Bill Clinton, and he said, it's out of Canada, there's not much I can do. I said, if you cannot do something, I will do something. And they were forced to respect our laws. Some were taken to courts, and after that, the problem was solved because we stood for us strongly. But for 8 years, I was a colleague of Bill Clinton, and he would always say that Canada was his best ally, and that I was a very good friend, and we still are very good friends. But we worked together, and we found solutions together. And it's what happened in the future, too. We always been good neighbors with anybody. So I was proud, too, when I was Prime Minister, and I had to say no to the participation in the American invasion of Iraq. That decision told the United States and the world that Canada is a proud, independent country. Of course, the business community was very nervous. They were afraid of retaliation. So I told them, okay, give me the list of all the goods and all the services that the Americans are buying from us because they like us. I've not received the list yet. So, you know, we will work in collaboration with them. But, you know, they have to understand, and everybody understand, that we are a very proud country. And for me, I can tell you that sometimes I can say this, from one old guy to another old guy. Stop this nonsense. Canada will never join the United States. I can tell you that my parents were not millionaires from New York. They were workers from Shawinigan. But my mother taught us good manners. She would have been ashamed of me if I had treated anyone the way that the President treated my Prime Minister and the President in Ukraine in the last few weeks. The reason we don't want to become American is because our values as Canadians. We are proud Canadians, and yes, we owe a debt of recognition to Mr. Trump. He has united us as never before. So I want to say thank you to him. And I think I will propose him for the Order of Canada. I'm just kidding. Mesdames et messieurs.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I was Prime Minister, I would travel across the world. I went to the UN, to the G7, to NATO, to the Commonwealth, to the Francophonie, and to all sorts of international meetings on the 5 continents. When I came back to Canada, each time I would say that the job of being Prime Minister is perhaps the easiest of any country in the world. Canada is the country that works the best, I think, much better than any other country in the world.
There are millions and millions of human beings from all over the world who would like to come and become Canadian citizens. There was a survey not long ago. They were asking the people, where will you want to go if you had to start again your life? And Canada was number 1. Why? Is because Canada is the land of freedom. Canada is the land of opportunity, the land of generosity, the land of tolerance, the land of stability, the land of rule of law. It is our land that is the envy of the world. Canada will continue to rise through north strong and free. Nobody will starve us into submission because Canada is and will remain the best country in the world. Vive le Canada!
Amis libéraux, veuillez accueillir le président du parti, Sachin Mehra. Liberals, please welcome President of the party, Sachin Mehra.
Hello, Liberals. How is everyone doing tonight? Let me ask that one more time. How are all the Liberals from coast to coast to coast doing tonight? Vraiment, c'est un plaisir de voir tout le monde.
Great pleasure to see all of you here.
Liberal Party of Canada. Mon nom est Sachmera. Je suis le président du Parti libéral du Canada. And what a night. What a leadership race. Before I get into it, I want to take this moment to thank a few people. And it starts with our volunteers. Do not underestimate the ability of committed volunteers to affect real change. Because of all of you tonight, our party is at one of the strongest points in its history. In 2 months, we delivered a leadership race that was fair and secure. And I really want to thank all the members of our national board that showed up and delivered. Please stand up, national board members. Merci aux membres de notre conseil d'administration.
I'd like to thank the members of the board.
And to everyone at LPC HQ, from staff across the country. Thank you for your hope. Thank you for your long hours. Thank you for your hard work. You have helped deliver one of the most secure leadership contests in the history of Canada. I also want to thank, of course, our leader, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
I'd like to take some time to talk about the Prime Minister's legacy. He was Prime Minister for more than 10 years, and he led us to 3 consecutive victories, and he delivered so much for Canadians as well.
Prime Minister Trudeau is leaving us a lasting legacy. Dental care, child care, the Canada Child Benefit, des investissements historiques dans les logements.
Historic investments in affordable housing, important action to deal with climate change, and to protect our environment as well. Huge progress for reconciliation.
Minority rights and LGBTQ2 rights. And Prime Minister, thank you for standing up against bullies and people threatening us to become the 51st state. Prime Minister, thank you for your leadership to our party and to our country. But most of all, thank you for being a friend to everyone in this room and to Canadians everywhere.
I'd also like to thank Mr. Chrétien for being here this evening. What a great speech, as always.
Order of Canada Award, for sure. Before we get to the moment that we have all been waiting for, I also want to take a moment to acknowledge all of our amazing candidates. To Frank, to Christia, Mark, Karina, merci pour vos incroyables campagnes.
Thank you for your incredible campaigns.
Merci pour l'inspiration que vous avez donnée à notre...
Thank you for inspiring our party and Canadians.
Your staff and volunteers who put their hands up to get involved in this most important race. Everyone should be proud of their hard work. In fact, we have welcomed hundreds of thousands of new registered Liberals from across the country. Many of them are with us tonight. Some of you, and I met a few of you, for the very first time. Et le momentum positif n'arrête pas ici. And the positive momentum doesn't stop here. We just recently announced our best ever Q1 for grassroots fundraising in the history of the party. And we still have another 21 days to go. My friends, together we are ready for the year ahead, but we need each and every one of you. 2025, as we all know, is an election year, and we all need to be ready. We need to knock on doors, make those calls, and chip in where we can, because only together will we win the fight for a strong Canada. Who's with me? Now, who's ready? Now it's the moment to announce our new leader. Maintenant, c'est le moment d'annoncer notre nouveau chef ou notre nouvelle.
It's now time to announce our new leader.
Results. I'm happy to invite on stage Beatrice Keller-Rafoul, who has been serving as the Chief Electoral Officer for the vote and protecting the integrity of the process. Pour me remettre les résultats, j'ai le plaisir d'inviter.
Now have the pleasure to invite Beatrice Keller-Rafoul, who has been acting as Chief Electoral Officer for the vote and has worked to protect the integrity of the process. Beatrice, over to you.
Thank you. A reminder that the winner must receive more than 50% of the points allocated in a ballot to win. The following are the results of the first ballot with 151,899 votes cast. In fourth place, Frank Baylis with 4,038 votes, resulting in 1,014 allocated points, representing 3% of the vote. In third place, Karina Gould with 4,785 votes, resulting in 1,100 allocated points, representing 3.2% of the vote. In second place, Chrystia Freeland with 11,134 votes, resulting in 2,729 allocated points, representing 8% of the vote. In first place, the next Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, with 131,674 votes, resulting in 29,457 allocated points, representing 85.9% of the vote.
amis libéraux, veuillez accueillir Cleo Carney.
Thank you, and good evening. Bonsoir. I'm going to try and deliver this speech with as much grace and poise as Ella Grace. I, too, am introducing my father tonight because I want Canadians to understand what kind of a man he is. And who is better qualified to speak on his character than his daughter? My father is, to his core, a man of commitment. I don't just mean that in a general sense. He is unflinchingly dedicated to what matters, focused and principled, funny and kind. Canadians care about actions, and my father is a man of action. A man who has traveled the length of Canada to hear what Canadians want from their leaders, what they want for their future. He's up early to read his papers and stays up late preparing for the next day. He has taught me the importance of always putting in the work. But you can work hard all you want. If you don't have a solid foundation, there's nothing to build on. And that's what I really want to share with you tonight, the foundation that makes my father who he is. He is unwaveringly supportive of the things he cares about. Every year for our birthdays, he burned us CDs, and somehow they were good. Sometimes now, when we don't know what to get him, we make him a playlist. He cheered me on in the freezing cold at my cross-country races. He sat for hours to help me with my math homework, persevering until I understood. I can tell you that I appreciate this more in hindsight than I did at the time. In all seriousness, my dad invests in what matters. He expects nothing to come without hard work, and he is always ready to work hard. The bottom line is, however hard things may seem, he shows up and never lets you down. He has and always will show up for you, for Canadians, and for Canada, because he cares about this great country. Now, my father, your new Liberal leader, and the 24th Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney. Merci.
Ici la terre est folle, ici la pluie de moi. Raconte-moi qu'on puisse trembler ensemble. Ici le jour
vient. Prime Minister, I think it's clear we should just skip a generation. Alors, bonsoir tout le monde. Wow. This room is strong. This room is Canada strong. Thank you, Cleo. Thank you, Cleo. And to my wife, Diana, our children, Cleo, Tess, Amelia, and Sasha. Without your support, I wouldn't be standing here. And like the Prime Minister, without your examples, I wouldn't have a purpose. And And without your love, I wouldn't have the strength that I need for what lies ahead. Thank you.
Mr. Chrétien, you still know how to energize the Liberal Party supporters like no one else can do it. You took courageous and historic decisions. You showed our allies that Canada will always stand up for what is just and fair. You're a source of inspiration for all Canadians across the land.
I say that you inspired my family to become Liberals, including my father to run as a Liberal candidate in Alberta in the 1980s. Some elections are tougher than others. And you inspired me. You inspired me over the years. And now to have an opportunity to continue your tradition of fiscal responsibility, social justice, and international leadership. Prime Minister Trudeau, my time doesn't permit me to recognize all your accomplishments, so I'll speak at a higher level. You have combined strength and compassion every day as a fighter for Canada. You have led us through some of the hardest challenges that this nation has ever faced.
At the same time, you have transformed Canada. You've transformed it. You've lifted hundreds of thousands of kids out of poverty. By moving reconciliation forward and by defending freedom and democracy here and across the world. Prime Minister, I think I am speaking for everyone here when I thank you for your hard work. As Ella Grace said, your hard work, for your leadership, and for your service to our great country. And I'd also like to thank you, Liberals, for having awarded me the greatest honor possible, which is to serve as your new leader. Thank you. I'd like to thank the tens of thousands of volunteers across the country who have devoted themselves to rebuilding our country and to giving back hope to our country.
I pledge to you and to all Canadians that I will follow their example. I will work day and night with one purpose, which is to build a stronger Canada for everyone. But I will need help. I will need a lot of help. And so I'd like to thank Christia, Frank, and Karina for your energy and ideas and leadership that you have brought to this campaign. And I would like also to thank those ministers who remained in their posts to serve Canada directly during this time of great peril. And to the incredible group of Liberal MPs that we have, you are the voices for your communities, and you are the conscience of our party. Thank you for your service. Now, to give a sense of that service, I'm going to quote from a message that I and Christia and Karina and Frank, the four of us, received from someone called Bob Zettel. Now, Bob, full disclosure, I know the leader of the opposition's into full disclosure, so I'm going to, full disclosure. Full disclosure, just want to get this on the table. Bob goes to my church. Actually, I go to Bob's church because he goes there a lot more frequently than I do. Anyways, point is, Bob wrote to the four candidates, and he said, I quote, "Right now, everyone sees the main threat as the Trump tariffs. But the far greater challenge will be, as it always has been, to foster unity and a sense of the common good. There are those who will seek power by dividing us." We'll get to that later on. And we being the people of Canada, we need you, my fellow candidates, myself, to continue in positions of leadership to promote a united Canada, a commitment to common good and the respect and the rule of law throughout the world. See, I quote Bob because right now all Canadians are being asked to serve in their own ways. We're all being called to stand up for each other and for the Canadian way of life. So let me ask you, who's ready? Pierre Claire. Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me? 100%. Yes. Yes. Yes, Canada. Yes, Canada. The Liberal Party is united and strong and ready to fight to build an even better country. Now, I feel like everything in my life has helped prepare me for this moment. 2 months ago, I put up my hand to run for leader because I felt we needed big changes, but big changes guided by strong Canadian values. The values I learned at the dinner table from my parents, Bob and Verly, and my 3 siblings, Brenda, Sean, and Brian. Values that I learned at the hockey rinks of Edmonton from my coaches, such as Stormin Norman Lee. He exists. We didn't call him that to his face, by the way, but that was his. My parents were teachers, and they stressed the importance of hard work, of community, and of tolerance. My coaches were dedicated volunteers who taught me the importance of teamwork, ambition, and because it's Canada, humility. Des bonnes valeurs.
The right values, Canadian values. I took them with me to university, and I kept them close to me when I was called upon to manage crises here in Canada and across the world. These same values have guided me in my work to build strong economies. And today, I will use those values again as we face this most serious crisis in a generation.
Know that new threats demand new ideas and a new plan. They know that new challenges demand new leadership. Canadians want positive leadership that will end division and help us build together. And to respond, my government will put into action our plan to build a stronger economy, to create new trading relationships with reliable trading partners, and to secure our borders. What, Claire?
Now, to be clear here, this will require change, big change. But I know that Canadians are ready. They've told me so across the country. People want change because they're concerned. They're concerned about the cost of living and the housing crisis as well. They're worried for the future of their young, their kids. They're worried about the future of Canada in the face of President Trump's threats and a more divided and dangerous world.
Now, I am a pragmatist above all. So when I see that something's that's not working, I will change it. So my government will immediately eliminate the divisive consumer carbon tax on families and farmers and small and medium-sized businesses. And we will stop the hike in the capital gains tax because we think builders should be incentivized for taking risks and rewarded when they succeed. Canada needs more of this type of change. Change that puts more money in people's pockets. Change that makes our companies more competitive. Change that builds the strongest economy in the G7. Now, there's someone who's trying to do the opposite. There's someone who's trying to weaken our economy. Yeah, Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, has put, as the Prime Minister just said, unjustified tariffs on what we build, on what we sell, on how we make a living. He's attacking Canadian families, workers, and businesses, and we cannot let him succeed. And we won't. We won't. I am proud of the response of Canadians who are making their voices heard and their wallets felt. I am grateful for how our provinces are stepping up to the fight, because when we are united, we are Canada strong. The Canadian government has rightly retaliated and is rightly retaliating with our own tariffs that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact here in Canada. And my government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect. And until they can join us in making credible and reliable commitments to free and fair trade, as Krista did. Yeah. And in the meantime, we will ensure that all the proceeds from our tariffs will be used to protect our workers.
Now, the Americans, they want our resources, our water, our land, our country even. Never. Think about that for a moment. That will destroy our way of life.
We want our resources, our water, our land, our country. Think about it. If they succeeded, they would destroy our way of life. In America, health care is a big business. In Canada, it is a right. America is a melting pot. Canada is a mosaic.
In the US, differences are not respected or recognized. First Nations aren't recognized. And the French language would never have any rights. The joie de vivre culture and the French language are part of our identity. And we must protect that. We must promote that as well. We'll never give them up for any trade agreement.
Yeah. Look, Canada, America is not Canada. And Canada never, ever will be part of America in any way, shape, or form. Look, we didn't ask for this fight. We didn't ask for this fight. But Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans, they should make no mistake, in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
Now, to Americans, I say to you, as in hockey, we will win.
Mais cette victoire.
But that victory won't be easy. We're facing the greatest crisis of our lifetimes. We have to do extraordinary things, and together. We have to build things that we've never imagined we would have to do at a pace we would have never believed possible. And above all, we must place people above money. We have to unite to build the strongest, the fairest, and the freest country in the world.
Now, Donald Trump is trying to weaken our economy. But there's someone else who, if he succeeds, will weaken our economy. It's Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre just doesn't get it. He is the type of lifelong politician, and I've seen this type around the world, a lifelong politician who worships at the altar of the free market despite never having made a payroll himself. And now, in the face of President Trump's threats, Pierre Poilievre still refuses to get his security clearance. At a time when our national security is under threat as it has never been before. At a time of immense economic insecurity, he would undermine the Bank of Canada. Monsieur Poilievre
has called for the shutting down of CBC at a time when disinformation and foreign interference are on the march. He insults our mayors and ignores the First Nations when it's time to build. He intends to put an end to international aid when democracy and human rights are in danger across the world. And he will also allow our planet to burn.
Poilievre would let our planet burn. This is not leadership. It's ideology. It's ideology that betrays what we as Canadians value. each other. It's an ideology that also represents a fundamental misunderstanding of how the economy works. Now, unlike Pierre Poilievre, I've actually worked in the private sector. I know how the world works, and I know how it can be made to work better for all of us. And that knowledge is especially useful now in the service of Canadians when we must build a new economy and create new trading relationships. Let me tell you something else that we know that Pierre Poilievre doesn't. We know that markets don't have values, people do. And we know as Liberals that it's our job to make markets, to make the economy work for all Canadians. These are the most powerful tool we've ever invented. They can find solutions to our greatest problems. And when the private sector, when the markets are governed well, they deliver great jobs and stronger growth faster than anything. But markets are also indifferent to human suffering, and they are blind to our greatest needs. So when they're not governed well, or not at all, they will deliver enormous wealth for the lucky few and hard times for the rest. And in this crisis, we must help those who are hit hardest by the American tariffs while we build our strength here at home. That's the right thing to do. That's the fair thing to do. That is the Canadian thing to do. That is what makes us strong. So Donald Trump thinks he can weaken us with his plan to divide and conquer. Pierre Poilievre's plan will leave us divided and ready to be conquered. Because a person who worships at the altar of Donald Trump will kneel before him, not stand up to him. Pierre Poilievre's slogans are not solutions. His anger is in action. His division is in strength. Division won't win a trade war. Division won't pay the rent or the mortgage. Division won't bring down the price of groceries. Division won't make Canada strong. Voilà où mène la...
This is where negative politics and division and anger takes us. Half of the US fears the other half. They're wary of each other. We can't allow such a situation to occur here in Canada. The Americans are increasingly divided, and this will weaken them. And we will win this fight if we are united and strong. Yes, we might disagree over policy. We might disagree over hockey. You can support the Oilers in Ottawa. That's possible. It's a free country, after all. But when it comes to Canada, we're all on the same side. Let's choose to be strong. Canada strong.
Now, I've learned a few things from long experience in crises. And the first is that plan beats no plan. And you need to distinguish what you can change from what you can't. We can't change Donald Trump. Can't change him. Nous devons comprendre ce que...
But we have to understand what we can and we must change. We are masters in our own house.
And we can. And because we're masters in our own home, we can control our economic destiny with a plan that puts more money in your pockets. A plan that will ensure your government spends less so Canada can invest more. A plan that builds millions of homes. A plan that makes us an energy superpower in both clean and conventional energy. A plan that creates new trade corridors with reliable partners. A plan that creates one Canadian economy, not 13. Because in Canada, we are stronger when we're united. We can give ourselves far, far more than Donald Trump can ever take away. But it will take extraordinary efforts. It won't be business as usual. We will have to do things we haven't imagined before at speeds we didn't think possible. We will do it. We will do it for the common good so that everyone benefits. You know, I do care about the economy. But it's not because I'm an economist. It's because I care about people. That's why I'm a Liberal. That's why we are Liberals. On sait.
It's clear that the value of a strong economy starts with the workers who have good, well-paying jobs today and who have better futures for them and for today's youth. We know as Liberals that we can't redistribute what we don't have. We also know that we can't be strong abroad if we're weak at home. We also know that we cannot build a better future if we're unable to manage the present.
So, we need a strong economy, but when we're fighting for a strong economy, we're fighting for good Canadian health care for everyone. We are fighting for strong support for our seniors who built this country. We are fighting for child care for young families that they put in place. We are fighting for dental care and pharma care for everyone who needs it. We are fighting for rights. We are fighting for a strong economy so we can create a more sustainable world for our children and grandchildren, and we will deliver. Well, thank you. I know that these are dark days. Dark days brought on by a country we can no longer trust. We are getting over the shock, but let us never forget the lessons. We have to look after ourselves, and we have to look out for each other. We need to pull together in the tough days ahead. And so, to those families watching this evening in Fort Smith, in Edmonton, and across every community in Canada, I promise you this. Together, we can and we will get through this crisis. We can and we will come out stronger than ever. And we will because Canada is built on the strength of its people. From our mines to our ports, From our logging roads to our city streets, we're strongest when we're united, when we're one economy, not 13, when we can cheer for different teams and still be on one team when it counts. When we come together, we build things that last because we are Canada strong. Vive la Canada! Merci tout le monde.
Well, you probably already have mine, but you were the number one rider. Is that right? Was it called a ride?